not talk to that person. Does anybody have a 401k where they're doing badly, please? No, don't put up your hand. I don't believe it. No, the 401ks, they're up 90%, 95%. I always tell the story. People come up to me, they say, I want to thank you. My wife thinks I'm a total loser, sir. She thinks I am the worst person with money, with financial. She thinks I'm just horrible in the last 3 years. I'm up 94%, sir. She thinks I'm a total genius when it comes to finance. She loves me again. She didn't love me before, sir. She loves me again. That tells you something about money, doesn't it? That's tough. The first step to victory in November is tomorrow. Go send a message that Republicans, and you can vote for the weakest candidate if you want, don't worry about it. I don't really think we actually have a candidate against us. That Republicans are energized, that we're united, and that 9 months from now, we are going to take back the House of Representatives, we are going to hold the Senate, and we are going to keep the White House. You know, they always talk about the Democrats, they have enthusiasm, right? We have so much more enthusiasm than that's not even close. They're all fighting each other. They're all going after each other. You got them all over the place. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They can't even count their votes. We're thrilled to be joined tonight by many great leaders from across this state and this country, great national leaders. I want to thank our tremendous Vice President, Mike Pence, who spoke earlier this evening. And also with us are warrior senators, the two people that wanted to be here. They're going to be here tomorrow. They're going to be here to get out the vote. I don't think we have to worry too much about it, but that's okay. And very highly respected. Senators Lindsey Graham and Rand Paul. Great guys, warriors, they're warriors. Hey, Lindsey and Rand, that's not bad. Can you imagine if you actually came from New Hampshire, what it would be, right? That's not bad. But they have been great. All they do is they looked at everybody for the last couple of months. They said, read the transcripts, please. Read the transcripts. But I want to thank you both very much. Two great people, two great friends. Man, look at all that television back there. Whoa. That's bigger than those terrible Academy Awards, I gotta tell you. That used to be big, not so much anymore. A friend of mine, another great leader and somebody that's going to be Speaker of the House, hopefully next year. Kevin McCarthy, our leader, Kevin McCarthy. Oh, well, that'd be nice to have Kevin, a pro. You'll see things get done like you never believe. Thank you, Kevin, very much. Great. A very brave man. He took a bullet. He got shot. And he got up. He was going to die that night. I tell the story all the time. His wife, she was crying so much. When he finally did awake, I said, well, one thing I learned, your wife loves you. Why do you say that? Because she was devastated. I know many wives that don't get too upset. His wife was devastated. His family was devastated. The doctor told me he didn't have a good chance, but he's tough as hell, and he's a really terrific friend. He's a winner. He put himself back into shape. He actually looks better now than he did before he got shot. Steve Scalise. A lot of guts. Your NRCC chairman, Mr. Tom Emmer, Congressman. Thank you. Tom Emmer. Thank you, Tom. And Representatives Mark Meadows. Did anybody ever hear Mark Meadows? These are warriors. Matt Gaetz. Matt. Whoa. Not bad, Matt. That's not bad. Mike Johnson, great lawyer. Mike Johnson. Thank you, Mike. And a man with a very familiar last name, Greg Pence, the brother of Mike. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. And thanks also to New Hampshire Senate Republican leader, Chuck Morse. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you. And I see somebody, two great people, a great couple in the audience, Matt Schlapp and Mercedes Schlapp. They're warriors also. They're warriors also. And I see next to them two warriors. Corey, you are such a fighter. You are such a fighter. Ah, boy, if we could get him to run for Senate, he would win so easily. Corey Lewandowski. Who loves this state a lot. And Dave Bossie. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. Great job. I'm just picking these people out of the audience. We have everybody here. The New Hampshire House Republican leader, Dick Hinch. Thank you, Dick. Thank you, Dick. A man who's been with us right from the beginning. Last time, when I left here last time, I felt so good. Everybody coming up to the room. You're going to win. We win by a lot, right? We had actually a total of 18, and we won. We had a tremendous night, and I've never forgotten it. And there was a friend of ours, chairman of the New Hampshire Republican Party, Steve Stepanek. Steve Stepanek. That was a big evening. And three friends of mine that are co-chairman Al Baldessaro, Fred Duchette, and Lou Gargiulo. Thank you all very much, and David and Corey, thank you also for being here. Also a woman that not too many people know, very powerful, very smart, very beautiful, even though I'm not allowed to say that because she's my daughter, Ivanka. Come on up, Ivanka. And Jared, who is making deals that are so good for this country. People have no idea what's happening. I will tell you, we are making trade deals and other deals, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. Jared Kushner, thank you, Jared. Thank you. And Kimberly, thank you so much. I heard your speech on the plane on the way in. I was very impressed. And did Don Jr. make a good speech? Come. They're good kids. They went through a lot with this hoax. I want to tell you, they went through a lot with the hoax. A woman who headed up the great state of Michigan. You know, the Republicans hadn't won it for 30 some odd years. You don't win Michigan, they said. I said, really, every time we have crowds like this, why aren't we going to win? We did our final speech at Michigan. In fact, we left New Hampshire and we just added it on because our opponent heard that they were in trouble. And they were in trouble because we won the great state of Michigan, and helping us was the RNC chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel. Great job. I said, get me the woman from Michigan to head up the RNC. Who's that woman from Michigan to head up the RNC? Thank you, Ronna. Great job. Setting all kinds of records, polling records, contribution records, everything. We're doing everything, so it's great. And Tommy Hicks, I want you to say hello. Tommy Hicks, who's a special friend. And Haley, thank you, darling. I retweeted you, Haley. I retweeted you all over the place. And together, we're all together. We're building the world's most prosperous economy and the most inclusive society anywhere in the world. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. Since my election, America has gained 7 million new jobs. The unemployment rate has hit the lowest rate in a half a century. The average unemployment rate under my administration is lower than any previous administration in the history of our country. You believe that one? That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. The unemployment rate among African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans has reached record lows all time, never been lower than what it is now. And by the way, our poll numbers with African Americans, with Hispanic Americans, with Asian Americans, the other side's getting a little nervous because they are like rocket ships. They're going up. African American youth unemployment is so important. There was a horrible number a few years ago. You remember, it was a really terrible thing was happening. It's just reached the lowest time in the history, the best number in the history of our country. And African American poverty numbers have hit the lowest rate ever recorded. Wages for African American workers have increased by $2,400 per year, also a record. And you know this, for decades, the Democrat Party has betrayed African Americans. They've betrayed us all. They betrayed all of us. But we're delivering for African Americans, we're delivering for Asian Americans and Hispanic Americans like nobody has ever done. We are fighting for great jobs, great schools, great health care, and a truly great future for our country and for them. We are the party of equal opportunity for all Americans. Thank you. To support working families, we've reduced the cost of child care, expanded paid leave, and given 40 million American families an average of $2,200 more in their pockets thanks to the Republican child tax credit. Who would have thought that? We have cut more job-killing regulations than any you know this one. So you go back 4 years, 8 years, in one case longer than 8 years, we've cut more job-killing regulations than any other administration in the history of our country. And we're not finished. And we've ended the war on American energy. They want to take our energy away. They want to take our wealth away. They want to give us wind. If it blows, wonderful. If it doesn't blow, you got problems. Wind. They want to destroy our countrysides, put windmills all over them. Watch your house go down in value. You ever see what happens? They build a windmill within distance of your house. You can forget about your house. You can just say, well, that was the end of that investment. You want to see a bird graveyard? Go to the bottom of a windmill. Take a look. It's a graveyard for birds. They kill all the birds, lowering utility bills and reducing prices at the pump. That's what we're doing. We are reversing decades of calamitous trade policies. Washington politicians, I mean, you know this. They shuttered New Hampshire factories. You were one of the worst examples ever, NAFTA. What NAFTA did to your communities, I mean, to your state, is incredible. Shattered your communities and sacrificed your jobs on the altar of globalism. We can forget globalism. We want to take care of our country. New Hampshire alone lost 1 in 4 manufacturing jobs following that twin disaster of NAFTA and China's entrance into the WTO, the World Trade Organization, one of the truly bad deals ever made in the history of our country. For decades, politicians campaigned across this state promising to replace NAFTA. They lied. They never did it. They never even tried to do it. They wouldn't have been able to anyway. It wasn't easy, I will tell you that. But then they got elected and they did absolutely nothing. But I'm not like those other politicians. I keep my promises. We took care of it. We took care of it. Last month we ended the NAFTA. You saw last month. Bing, bye-bye. I say Donald J. Trump. Bye-bye, NAFTA. We ended the NAFTA catastrophe, and I signed the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement into law. That's going to be great for our manufacturers, our farmers, great for everybody. Great for our workers. The USMCA will bring jobs back to New Hampshire right where they belong. They should have never left in the first place. Probably the #1 reason I ran for office. I'm 1 for 1. I have friends, some of these great senators. See, look at Lindsey over there. Look at Rand. These great senators. Sir, I've run 5 times and I've won 3. Another senator said, sir, I've won 7 times, sir. Southern senator. I've won 7 times, sir. And I've won 5 of those damn contests. I said, Senator, I ran once and I won just 1. And we're going to run twice, and that's going to be it. Although they think we're going to run much more than that. You know that, right? It scares the hell out of the fake news, I will tell you. They can't take a joke. I also took the strongest ever action to confront China's massive theft of American jobs. And our strategy worked. A massive tariff, and tariff money is pouring in and has poured in by the billions and billions. We never took in 10 cents from China. They ripped us so much you wouldn't believe it. Now they respect us again. Last month we signed a groundbreaking trade agreement with China that will defeat so many of our opponents. The money that's pouring in, people don't even believe it. And by the way, the virus, they're working hard. Looks like by April, you know, in theory, when it gets a little warmer, it miraculously goes away. I hope that's true. But we're doing great in our country. China, I spoke with President Xi, and they're working very, very hard. And I think it's going to all work out fine. Rough stuff, I tell you, rough stuff. But I think it's going to work out good. We only have 11 cases, and they're all getting better. But our trade agreement with China will defend our workers, protect our intellectual property, and substantially boost exports of American-made goods. Isn't that nice? After years of building up other countries, we are finally rebuilding our country. On no issue have Washington Democrats more thoroughly sold out the American people than a thing called immigration, right? Before I came into office, the far left's policy of open borders allowed deadly drugs to flow freely into our country, and that's what they want. I see them campaigning right down the street. It's really boring to watch, but I try and watch. No, I have an obligation to watch. Really boring stuff. But they want open borders. They want thousands and thousands of people to pour into our country, many of whom are not exactly what we're looking for, okay? I mean, murderers, rapists, and some other things. They're going to be poisoning our children with drugs, including right here in New Hampshire. And you have one of the biggest drug problems in the country. And we brought it down 18%, but we have to do better. 18%. Washington Democrats put the needs of illegal immigrants before the well-being of American citizens. They want to let anyone into our country from all around the world, just come on in, folks. We're going to give you free health care. We're going to give you free education. We're going to give you more than our vets are getting. We're going to give you, every family will get a free Rolls Royce. You know, I said that, Matt. I said that to them, and some of the fake news picked it up, and they said, President Trump said every family coming into our country illegally gets a brand new free Rolls Royce. He lied, he lied, he lied. They gave me a Pinocchio. They don't get it, Matt, do they, Matt? Actually, they get it better than we understand. They get it very well. They get it. They know what's happening. And the wall is being built, I will tell you. The wall is being built. And you know, they went after us on, everybody knows the wall is going up. So what's happening, you know, you do know who's paying for the wall, don't you? Right. Redemption from illegal aliens that are coming. The redemption money is paying for the wall. They're so sad to hear that because they say, okay, finally. They go, you have to understand, an entire party is fighting. They'll give me anything I want. Our military, we've rebuilt it. 2.2, it's really 2.5 trillion over a period of 3 years. They give me anything, but not 10 cents for the wall. They said, we like drones. Well, drones don't keep people out. Drones are wonderful. They fly around, take pictures. We're going to give you a drone. No good. So we now have built over 100 miles of wall. And when we have that wall built, you have to see what happens to the illegal aliens that don't come in. I say the illegal, they can't come in. They don't come in. So we are up to over 100, substantially more than 100 miles of wall, and we'll have close to 500 miles of wall in the very near future. And by the way, you have to see, you wouldn't believe it, you have to see what happens when that wall goes up. You have to see the numbers change like magic. They change like magic. It's called, you know, you ever hear the thing, you know, with all the modern technology, all of the new computers, the new genius, the new everything, cyber this, cyber that. Two things never change, right? A wheel and a wall. Think of it, right? Right? A wheel and a wall. They're going to have a lot of brilliant people working over the years. They're never going to replace the wheel, and they're never going to replace the wall, and it's a high wall. Illegal immigrants coming into our country illegally. Very few of them are getting in right now. You know, Mexico's been terrific. We have 27,000 Mexican soldiers on our border, and the numbers went down 87% from this year and this time last year. And for the amount of money Washington Democrats want to spend supporting illegal immigrants, we could rebuild the cities in America. We could rebuild our cities. But, you know, I have something, because people were screaming to me for the last 4 or 5 rallies, read The Snake, The Snake. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? She knows. She's been standing outside for 4 days, no wonder. And you look good, I'll tell you what. 4 days outside in the rain and snow. Look at these front row people. These are warriors. They're warriors, too, like my congressmen and senators. So this is, because we mentioned, at least I made minor changes. They mentioned illegal immigration. This is about immigration. This was a song from the 1950s, Al Green. And they mentioned, I have little changes to it, that's okay. But they mentioned illegal immigration, right? And I used to do this a lot, and people couldn't get enough of it, to be honest with you. And I haven't done it for a while. And I thought I'd do it tonight because you're on the eve of giving us an opponent, and all of these people want open borders. They want open borders. And we don't want open borders. We want very strong closed borders. And we want people to come into our country but they want to come in through merit, and we want them to come in legally, right? Right? Through merit and legally, right? So we'll do this quickly. This is illegal immigration. It's called, oh, listen to how quiet it is. Listen to how quiet. Now watch how quiet it gets. It gets so quiet. But this is all about, I love you too. There was a guy that said that, but I love him too. I love everybody. Ready? So important, illegal immigration. On her way to work one morning, down the path, along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been fully revived. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me. But why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Got to come in legally and through merit. Under my administration, we're fully taking care of our own citizens first, including millions of African American and Hispanic Americans who are entitled to a government that protects their families and their communities. In this region of the country alone, last year, ICE officers, we love our ICE officers. The Democrats don't like them. The Democrats don't like them. ICE officers are the toughest human beings, and they love the country as much as anybody in this room. Last year alone, they arrested over 2,000 criminal aliens charged or convicted of dangerous offenses, including robbery, rape, and murder. Over 2,000 accused of murder. Yet left-wing politicians support sanctuary cities that release criminal aliens directly into the American community. One of my guests at the State of the Union was American citizen Jody Jones. I introduced him that night. His beloved brother Rocky was murdered by a criminal alien in California, shot him 8 times at close range, wouldn't stop. Rocky's killer had been previously arrested many times, but under California's totally insane and outrageous sanctuary law, authorities were ordered to set him free. Tragically, left-wing politicians in New Hampshire are trying to replicate California's disastrous policies. Last year, the Democrat-controlled New Hampshire House blocked legislation that would have banned sanctuary cities in your state. And by the way, you have a great governor, Chris Sununu. He's on top of it. He's on top of it. And his father's a great guy. His father didn't like me too much a few years ago. Once I won, I'm telling you, he was so good. He was as good. He fought like hell for us, all of us. It's a great family, and Chris is doing a fantastic job. If you want to shut down sanctuary cities, if you want to protect your family and your loved ones, you must vote Republican in 2020, November. And thanks to our tireless efforts to secure the border, we have reduced illegal border crossings 8 straight months in a row. Illegal crossings are down now at record numbers, and we've ended catch and release. You know what catch and release is? You catch an illegal alien by law. You then take his name and address. They don't have addresses. What's your address? What? They don't have addresses. They come into the country. They don't have addresses. So you take his name, and then you have to release him into the country. And you say, we'll see you in 4 years for your court case. We never see him. They never come back. We have seized record amounts of drugs. We have deported record numbers of gang members, MS-13 by the thousands. And we have done more to secure the border of our country than any administration in history. Remember this, Washington Democrats have never been more extreme. Taking their cues from crazy Bernie, 132 congressional Democrats have signed up for Bernie's health care takeover that would strip 180 million Americans of their very, very coveted private coverage. The Democrat Party wants to run your health care, but they can't even run a caucus in Iowa. By the way, it's a week. You know, I turned on at 7 o'clock. I wanted to see who won. They said, there's a little problem. Little did they know. Does anybody, it's now a week, does anybody know who won Iowa? I don't know. Maybe Rand or Lindsay. Rand, does anybody know who won Iowa? Lindsay, you're a total pro. Nobody knows. He said nobody. Flip a coin. Flip a coin. Flip a coin. They're going to run your health care. Unbelievable. Nobody knows who won. Actually, I think they're trying to take it away from Bernie again. I think Bernie came in second. Can you believe it? They're doing it to you again, Bernie. They're doing it to you again. We're saving your health care while the socialist Democrats are trying to take away your health care. We are making health care better and much, much cheaper. You've seen what we did. We are protecting people with pre-existing conditions, and we always will. The Republican Party always will. Always will. And we got rid of the most unpopular thing in the healthcare world, the individual mandate. We had to pay a fortune not to pay a fortune. You know, you paid a fortune not to pay a fortune for bad healthcare. And we got rid of it. Saved a lot of money for a lot of people. And we're stopping surprise medical bills and making everything transparent. That's bigger than healthcare transparency. And that'll go, unfortunately, into effect right around the election time. It would be nice if we could get it earlier, but it's all done. It's all signed. Because when providers are required to show you what the prices are, those prices are going to come tumbling down. Blood tests, as an example. One hospital has them for $53. Another hospital, the same test, $2,415. Same exact test. And it may even be better, who knows. We're approving more generic drugs than ever before at any time in the history of our country. That's bringing prices down. We are defending your right to keep the doctor And to keep your plan, remember President Obama, you can keep your plan, you can keep 28 times, you can keep your doctor. That didn't turn out very good. We should impeach him for that. Why aren't we impeaching him 28 times? You can keep your doctor. We should impeach President Obama. Democrats are now the party of high taxes, high crime, open borders, late-term abortion, socialism, and blatant corruption. The Republican Party is the party of the American worker, the American family, the American dream, and the late, great Abraham Lincoln, right? Abraham Lincoln. Republicans are fighting for citizens from every background, every community, and every walk of life. We are the party of boundless optimism, excitement, energy, and enthusiasm. We love people. We are asking all Americans to join our incredible movement. People are signing up left and right. But if you want to vote for a weak candidate tomorrow, go ahead. Pick one. Pick the weakest one you think. I don't know who it is. We are a big party with big ideas for the future, very big. We've become a big party and an open-minded party, and we're the party that people like. We're the hot party, and we're the party with all the enthusiasm. We are fighting for school choice because no parent should ever be forced to send their child to a failing government school. We passed criminal justice reform to give former prisoners a second chance at life. Most incredible thing that's happened. Prisoners never really had a shot. They'd get out, they couldn't get a job no matter what they did, and they'd go back. They'd go back to their ways. They had no, I mean, in many cases, I guess they had no choice. It was a disaster. Now they're getting out, and because our economy is so good, and because of what we've done with criminal justice reform and other things like opportunity zones, et cetera, they're getting jobs, and employers are loving them. They're doing great. They're doing great. They are doing great. First time ever. They're not going back. To uphold the rule of law, we have confirmed 191 federal judges who will interpret the Constitution as written. And as you know, we've also confirmed 2 great new Supreme Court justices. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rand. Thank you, Lindsey. Thank you. We have invested $2.2 trillion to rebuild the United States military, as I said, and I love saying it, because we are funding for New Hampshire, the New Hampshire Army National Guard Readiness Centers just a few miles from here in Pembroke and in Concord. Concord, I love Concord. I love Concord. Oh, Concord. You know how famous Concord is? Concord. That's the same Concord that we read about all the time, right? Concord. I love Concord. I recognized Israel's true capital and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. And we recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Been trying to do that for 52 years. We got it done. And for years you watched as your politicians, they went out. I'd like to apologize for the behavior of the United States. No, we don't apologize anymore. We don't apologize. Now you have a president who is standing up for America, and we are standing up for the great people of New Hampshire. Thank you. At stake in our present battle is the survival, actually, of our nation. If you want your children to inherit the blessings that generations of Americans have fought and died for to secure, then we must devote everything we have toward victory. November 3rd, 2020. Only this way can we save the America we love and drain the Washington swamp once and for all. And I will tell you, that swamp is much worse than I thought when I was out here innocently campaigning. Let's drain the swamp. That swamp is a lot worse than anybody ever thought. That swamp is a dirty swamp. That's a dirty swamp. You have some really evil, dirty, horrible people. I like to say nice. Everyone's nice. They're not good. They're not good people. But we're draining that sucker slowly but surely. With your help, we will lift millions of more of our citizens from welfare to work. Through dependence to independence and poverty to prosperity. Together, we will elect a Republican Congress to create a fair, safe, sane, and lawful system of immigration. We will continue to enact new trade deals that result in more products proudly stamped with that beautiful phrase, made in the USA. We will achieve new breakthroughs in science and medicine, finding new cures for childhood cancer, and ending the AIDS epidemic in America in less than 10 years. How about that? It'll be done. We will land the first woman on the moon and become the first nation in the world to plant its flag on Mars. We're very advanced. All made in the USA. We will defend privacy, free speech, religious liberty, and the right to keep and bear arms. We're going to protect your Second Amendments. By the way, they're going to take away everything. They're going to take away your wealth. They're going to take away your guns. They're going to take away everything. Above all, we will never stop fighting for the sacred values that bind us together as one America. We support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. We stand with the incredible heroes of law enforcement. We believe in the dignity of work and the sanctity of life. We believe that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the true American way. We believe that children should be taught to love our country, honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. And we live by the words of our national motto, "In God we trust." From Nashua to Dixville, from Portsmouth to Plymouth, from Concord to Claremont, and from Meredith to right here in Manchester, we stand on the shoulders of red-blooded American patriots who poured out their heart, sweat, and soul to secure our liberty and to defend our freedom. New Hampshire was founded by tough frontier men and strong, powerful pioneer women who defied the dangers and raised their children to embrace the eternal motto, "Live free or die." I love that motto. Live free or die. Right. These courageous Americans tamed the wilderness, braved the elements, changed the hills, fought the battles, and helped make this the greatest nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And we are making it greater every single day, greater than ever before. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. That's what this is all about. With your help, your devotion and your drive. We are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting. And we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. America is thriving like never before. And ladies and gentlemen of New Hampshire, the best is yet to come. Together, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, New Hampshire. Thank you. Thank you, New Hampshire.